I'm at the Holker Stadium in Indore, and the practice session of the Indian team is going on right now. I have Jeff, who is a radio commentator from Australia. He'd been covering the entire series at present. The situation of the series seems to be like India is dominating the series, but Jeff, what are the chances as far as Australia is concerned? We've seen that they had been struggling with the spinners.
Well, I guess their main hope is whether this is more of a batting pitch or whether it continues to have a lot of turn. We were watching the Australians training out here today, and there was not much sweeping, a lot more upright play, a lot more using the feet and trying to hit down the ground. So it seems they're trying to drill that routine into themselves to have a different approach during the third test.
Well, as far as the Indian team is concerned, what are the positive points that you're looking into the team at present?
Well, it's all positive points, really, isn't it? I suppose the top order batting is the main concern for India, but they have such strength from their all-rounders. Their three spinners are all batting well, they're all offering runs, and then they don't even really need four or five bowlers. They really need two bowlers so far in this series, the way that Ashwin and Jadeja have been going. So those two will continue to be the main threat. If this is more of a batting track, then they might need more support from Akshar Patel.
Jeff, like we had seen, it's entirely a different ball game as far as Australia is concerned, as far as India is concerned. But the upcoming match in Indore, the ground seems to be smaller. It is favouring we have seen the wicket has been favouring the batsmen. What is the score that you're looking forward for?
Well, I think you need to bat big if you get the opportunity, and that's what Australia haven't done. They've won the toss, they've batted first, and both times they've made in between sort of totals that aren't enough to really put huge pressure on the opposition. So that's the key if they get the opportunity to bat again, is make sure that you really only need to bat one time.
Missing Warner because he's played so much IPL.
Well, he has. That doesn't help in terms of the surfaces, in terms of playing spin conditions. IPL pitches are completely different. So in technical terms, it doesn't help. What it does is it allows him to be used to the crowds, the noise, the different travel arrangements, all of the other parts of touring in India, aside from what happens on the field. But these Australians have been here for a few weeks now, so they should be as used to it as they're going to get, and they need to push on without him.
Jeff, on a lighter note, what is the prediction for the game, the upcoming game?
Well, I'd be very wary to predict any Australian win.
But just a wild guess.
Given the way that they've gone here, I mean, as soon as the pressure comes on, I think that's when we'll find out whether the Australians have been able to gather any sort of calm or composure in the big gap that they've had between the second and third test. That's what's brought them undone the first two times, is panic, a lack of composure. That's what they need to address. But I think it's unlikely that we'll see that happen.
Any player from the Indian squad that the Australian team is looking forward for, that this is the danger man?
Well, those two spinners are obviously the danger bowlers because they do so much of the work. You know, it's like clockwork. You can just set one at one end, one at the other, and let them go for a session and see what happens. So, but I think in a lot of ways the Australians will be trying to focus less on Jadeja and Ashwin because those two have been in their heads, because they've been thinking so much about them. They've been getting themselves into trouble against those spinners. I think they will want to just treat them as bowlers and concentrate on them less.
The Indian squad, whom should they be looking forward for as far as the danger person from Australian squad is concerned?
Well, Mitchell Starc coming back, that's the big point of interest because he's shown that he can be dangerous in Asian conditions before, with the bat and with the ball. The 9 wickets that he took in a test match in Sri Lanka in 2016, he can get the ball to reverse swing, and he's a dangerous hitter at number 8. So he's a very good package to come in for the Australians.
3 days match, 4 days match, 5 days match?
Well, we've seen 2.5 so far, so if we can go all the way to 3 days, that would be an improvement.
So an improvement will be there if in case it goes for 3 days, but yes, definitely as far as the experts are concerned in Indore, they are expecting that the match should continue at least for 4 days with Viren Raikwad. This is Atyab Sheikh from Holker Stadium, Indore.